Okay, let's jump back into the episode Married at First Sight, season 20, episode 16 and 17. Today we're going to be talking about Devin and Caitlyn. Now, this couple right here, I think it's a very cute couple when it comes to appearance, but when it comes to them being romantically involved, making this a marriage, it is just too hard. It's almost like pulling teeth. And I think it's all falls back on Caitlyn. Now, Caitlyn, to me, when it comes to relationship with Devin, she acts very immature and not in a way that she's petty or childish. Well, kind of childish because it seems like she's delayed when it comes to relationships. Like she don't know how to create a relationship, or she don't want to be in a relationship. Even though she says that she wants to, her actions do not show it. Now, one thing about Devin is going to always make sure that they're eating. He is always in the kitchen. He's always on the grill. He is always at the stove, and he be cooking some of the most delicious looking meals that I have ever seen on the show. Now, the one common conversation that they're always having when they sit down for dinner is Devin is always asking her how does she feel when it comes to romance and things like that. And she always say, I just want to take it slow. I don't want to move too fast. I think that things will come with time. And the thing about Devin, he never wants to pressure her. He never try to push anything, but you can tell that he wants to let her know that he does desire those type of treatments. He wants to cuddle. He wants to be given compliments and vice versa. Now, one thing I noticed about Caitlyn is that when he's talking and he's talking on a more sentimental level or trying to get deep with her, she does not give him eye contact. She always looking down, looking around, looking everywhere except at Devin. And the only time I see that she focuses on Devin is when there's some type of conflict. Then she'll give him direct eye contact. And then the next scene, we see them in a car. And every time we see them in the car or something like that, they're talking about an argument that went on without the cameras being around. And the argument always seems to go like this. Devin never sees Caitlyn throughout the day. When he does see her, he wants some of her attention and affection, and she don't want to give it. And she said that, he was like, well, can we at least end the day together? Can we kind of like cuddle and end the day together? And she was like, well, can we go to bed around 8:30? And so it's just like he's trying to get something from nothing. He's trying to get juice from a turnip, and it's just not coming from Caitlyn. And no matter how much he try to juice her, she is not giving up the juice, baby, at all. She's very hard to squeeze. Now, even though she's not giving up the juice, one thing she will do, she will agree, okay, let's move forward. I will try more. I will try and put in some effort. Just for the next scene or the next issue or the next dialogue that they have, is just Devin is always saying, you still not giving nothing. And she was like, well, you act like I'm not doing anything. And Devin pretty much saying you're not doing nothing. But she said that she do small things. She'll come, touch his shoulder or scratch his back or stuff like that. And Devin was like, baby, that is not nothing that tells me that you want something from me or you want to be romantic. Those are just small little gestures. And he said that that's not enough to say, okay, I want you romantically. And she gets disappointed because she feel like, well, that's my way of showing love. And it's just like, well, that's not enough for Devin. He telling you that's not enough, but she's telling him that's all she got. Okay, take it or leave it. And she kind of says it. She said either we need to go all the way in or go all the way out, which telling me she is looking for him to jump her bones, but I don't think he's getting the clues or picking up the clues or understand it. And he don't want to move too fast, because even when he said, well, when you come touch my back, that's not telling me that you want to F me. And she's like, I don't like that kind of wording. I don't like when people say the F word. Just like a little kid. It's like, Caitlyn, grow up. Because I know for a fact you done heard the F word coming from your daddy hundreds of thousands of times. Okay, so don't act like what he's saying right now is just so inappropriate for your ears. But anyways, like I said, the highlight of the show is that they went on a couples retreat. So they head over to the couples retreat. They get to the cabin. Everybody pick out their rooms and everything. Then they sit down to play a game. And with this game, they all decide, okay, we're going to read a question from a piece of paper, like who is more likely to do this, and as the whole group would decide on the count of three who they think would be most likely to cheat, who would be most likely to trade, who would be most likely to whatever, and so and so, so and so. So they get the plan, and of course, most of the things that happen bad, like who's gonna cheat, who's gonna betray their wife, who's gonna do all this, they all say Felipe. But then some other answers, they were like, well, who is most likely to get the ick from their partner? And they said Caitlyn. And then Caitlyn over there snickling and happy like a little schoolgirl. Like, you know, now one time did she say, no, I'll never get the ick from Devin because Devin is fine, or this Devin is this. Even though she said Devin is fine, but she never confirmed that, oh, well, Devin will never give me the ick. She was just laughing about it. And Devin felt a certain type of way. He was like, well, you know, I don't appreciate her getting excitement from, you know, questions like that, you know, because that's not helping our relationship. So he got a little attitude, but at the same time, he continued to be a good sport and act like it didn't bother him. So the next day, the couples get up, and most of the couples go on solo dates. So Devin decided to take Caitlyn to this beautiful scenery by the lake, you know, where the lake is flowing water. The colors of the trees were beautiful. The scenery was great. So he had a little picnic with her to have the same conversation again about being romantic. You know, what are the cues I should be looking for when it comes to when you're ready. And so Caitlyn was like, last night, you know, pretty much was the time, because she sat down with the cameras and she was saying that Devin at 2:00 in the morning went and took a shower. He spent a lot of time in the bathroom. And I guess at that time she kind of was feeling it. So she was acting like she wanted him to, you know, to cross the line with her, to make it official that night. But it's like, girl, Devin know, and Devin didn't know. And so they was talking about another argument that they had off camera that night. I guess when he came out the bathroom, instead of her being romantic with him and letting him know tonight's the night, let's get it on, they created an argument. And then so she was saying that, you know, when we argue, I don't think we'd be on the same page at all. I think we don't even be listening to each other, which is true. That's what Devin said. Devin said that, you know, first of all, she won't even let him finish talking. As soon as he started the sentence, she'll butt in and say no, or she'll give her own opinion. And it's like, can he finish the sentence? Can he finish the thought? And then so that was starting to piss him off a little bit. So they go back to the cabin, and so now they have dinner again. Again, Devin in there on the grills, grilling up some good-looking barbecue. And so dinner is done. So after they get done with dinner, they sit down and they play another game. Now, this time with this game, they was just asking questions. So the bowl was going around, and they got to Mecca, and they asked Mecca if he had a hall pass or if he could, you know, switch up partners, who would he switch up with? Well, Belle, she said that she would take Tori or Marissa or something like that. Okay, just trying to play it safe. But then they asked Mecca, who would he take, you know, out of all the women? And he said he would take Michelle and Caitlyn. Now, Caitlyn was so just at glee when he said that, so excited and happy about that. And so, and nobody didn't think anything of it. It's like he answered the question, that was it. Okay, cool. And then after the game was over, here go Caitlyn. Mecca, let's go to the side and let's talk. It's like, what? So she and Mecca go outside to have a conversation. As they was having conversation, she over there smiling. I mean, giving direct eye contact. Mecca was doing the same thing. They were just gazing in each other's eyes, having a conversation. And we never seen neither one of them act like that towards their own partner. Now, out of all people, Adam noticed, like, look at your boy out there giving the business to your girl. You know, Mecca out there putting the riz on Caitlyn. And then Devin was like looking out there, and he was like, well, yeah, it does look kind of suspicious. But he was like, nah, I don't think so. You know, because he wasn't trying to be the jealous type. But the more he looked out there, he saw that, yeah, she is giving him a different type of energy that she never gave Devin. And then the cameras go back to show that Mecca and Caitlyn had so many unnecessary or moments together, let's say, where he was giving her his necklace, where he did a pinky swear with her and kissed her hand. And all this was happening in front of Belle. But when Devin saw it, he was like, it's inappropriate for Mecca to be doing that with his wife. So at this point, everybody is side-eyeing Mecca and Caitlyn, because again, Caitlyn is giving all this attention to Mecca and giving zero attention to Devin. And then at the end of the game, not only did she was very much into Mecca. When she was talking to Mecca and then Devin said something to her, she was like, F off, I'm talking to Mecca. And that was it. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. He got upset. He stormed off. But before he stormed off, he started pointing at her face, reaching at her and stuff like that, as if he was ready to get at her and tear her up. So everybody was like, no, Devin, calm down. It's not that serious or something like that. They were just trying to calm him down. But he had enough of Caitlyn, and I agree with him. So the next morning, the couples wake up, and then we go to the scene with Devin and Caitlyn. And so Devin is sitting there, and I noticed that something with Devin on this day, that one of his eyes looked like it was bloodshot red. So I don't know if he got hit in his eye, what happened, did he get mad and he bust a blood vessel, but his eye looked very red and inflamed. So he and Caitlyn have a conversation, and so as they was having a conversation, Caitlyn just took lead of the conversation, was just saying like, I don't know if this is it. We just keep on being combative against each other. We just not getting anywhere. We're not romantically involved or anything like that. She's like, I think we should just call it. And then he started laughing and looking at her. And then he agreed. He was like, okay, let's just call it, and then so they went back and forth and had this unnecessary conversation, unnecessary argument. I wasn't going to even try to keep up with what they were saying because, again, their conversations annoy me to the point that they do not be on the same page at all. She really just want to talk about Taylor Swift and Harry Potter. That's all she really want, and he really can't get any deeper with her. So he was just like, you know what, let's just go. I'm gonna go my own separate way. He drove his own car there, so he started packing up. As he was packing up, he was going around to the other couples and saying their goodbyes. He went over to Mecca, and Mecca was like, I'm so sorry. He said, I just feel like I'm responsible for this. And he was like, Devin was like, no, you're not responsible, because he said that last night Mecca came to him and apologized for interfering with the relationship, because Mecca deserved to give him an apology, because Mecca was doing too much when it came to Caitlyn, and Caitlyn was too engaged in the conversation for sure. And then so, especially after Mecca just said that he would choose Michelle and Caitlyn if he had the opportunity to pick someone. And they just told Mecca the night before, they wanted to know, Mecca, what was your type of girl? And he already said that Belle was not his type of girl. So to say that Michelle and Caitlyn was his type of girl just pretty much was a slap in the face of Belle. But that's a whole nother show. So stay tuned when I talk about them. But for now, we getting back to Devin and Caitlyn. And so he was apologizing. He said, I feel like it was my fault. And Devin was like, no, it wasn't your fault. It was just doomed to happen. That was just the course of our relationship. That's how it was going. And we just had enough. We're not compatible and everything like that. So they dapped each other up. And then he hugged Belle. And then he had did his rounds already. So he packed up everything and he just left. Okay, he was gone. And then here go Caitlyn. Now that he's gone, know that she just called the relationship off. And he agreed. And he's heading down the highway, baby. He heading back to his apartment so he can pack it up and be gone by the time she get there. And now she is sitting in herself and she's crying. She's sad because now she's saying that she wished it would have worked out with him, because he was nothing but caring to her. He was very dedicated to her. He pretty much did everything for her, and she just now recognizing it when it was gone. They said you'll never recognize a good thing till it's gone. And then Caitlyn finally saw that. So she's crying and she's sad and everything, which annoyed me even more, because it's like, why couldn't you give this to him? Why couldn't you tell this to him? Because you actually had a good man. Devin was probably the best man on the show. He was willing to sacrifice himself, which is sad. He shouldn't have done that. But he was sacrificing what he wanted, his needs and everything, and very much into her. He wanted to go at her pace. And she was moving very slow with the relationship, and he was down to do it. But, it's like he can only take so much. She can only say F all Devin so many times, because this is not the first time she did it, but this was the final straw for Devin. And so he started cussing her out. She was cussing him out. And then I believe that kind of turned her on a little bit. I think she liked a little toxicness to it. And then so now that he's gone and he wasn't going to fight with her or fight for her no more, now she regretted everything that she said to him. And then she asked Michelle and Cameron, can she catch a ride home with them? And they said, yeah. And so they took her home like a little baby, like, come on, get in the car with mama, daddy, so we can take you back to the house, girl, because you got dumped by your man and now you need somebody else to take you home. So they took her on home and everything like that. And as she was in the car, she was just acting like she was very sad that it was over, even though she the one who called it. But she was calling his bluff. She didn't know that he was going to bite the bullet and say, yeah, I agree, it's over. And he immediately packed up. He no longer said anything else to her. He didn't even give her a goodbye. And then he headed down the highway. And then so, you know, she's saying her regrets now. She now know that she had a good man, baby, who was feeding her, taking good care of her. Even he was getting to the point of trying to learn Taylor Swift lyrics for her. And so I'm glad that Devin freed himself, because as you can see, Devin is a good-looking man, and he deserves a woman who's going to treat him like the good-looking man that loves to be in the kitchen, that loves to be on the grill. You could tell that he had good qualities to be a good father and everything. So now Caitlyn is alone where she needs to be, because she always sitting in her masculine energy. And since she's so masculine, she needs to go ahead and go into her apartment and do what she want to do, honey. Do push-ups, one-ups, pull-ups, whatever you want to do, sis, okay? Now you got nothing but time and opportunity, because you no longer have a good man on your arms, okay? And so there you got it. So you ain't got to worry about cuddling no more. You ain't got to worry about none of that, because Devin is gone. And I can promise you, Devin is not going to be single for long, okay? Especially after what the girls have seen him be and who he is on the show. Baby, he gonna get snatched up real fast. The girls already in the DM right now, waiting on him to get his phone back, honey, waiting for him to log in, okay? Because again, Devin was a good man, good looking man, okay? Now, yeah, he need a new barber, okay? He may need a new haircut, but baby, that's easy, okay? And matter of fact, he's such a good man, you'll go ahead and deal with that mohawk, that mullet mohawk, baby, with the ice tips, okay? Flipped in the back. Girl, come on now, okay? Take it or leave it. And so he decided to leave it. And Caitlyn wished she would have took it. Now, all she had to do was jump on that man and ride that man out to the sunset, baby. That was a stallion that she had. But she didn't understand it. She didn't appreciate it. And he rolled off in the sunset by himself. But trust and believe he will not be by himself for long, girl. That's going to be it, girl. Talk to you later. Bye.